Hello and welcome, everybody. It is Coach Action Jackson, and we're here with another episode of Client Success Stories. Now, there's an old cliche saying that says, those that sweat together stay together. And this is the perfect example of this, because we have today a couple that went through the program together, which is amazing because we've had a lot of couples that have done this, but this is the first time we've shared their successes. We have Greg and we have Erin. Welcome to the program.
Thanks for having us.
Yes,
we're excited to be here.
Yeah.
Well, I'm super excited to have you here because you both experienced crazy, amazing, awesome results. I'm super proud of both of you. Erin lost 23 pounds, 3 inches off your waist, and 7.1% body fat. Incredible. And Greg, on the other hand, you guys are like battling each other to perfection. Greg, you lost 32 pounds. You lost 10% body fat, you lost 6 inches on your waist, and your strength score went up a crazy, insane 220 points. So congratulations to you both. It's really impressive. I'm really excited to dig into all the nitty-gritty details of how you made this transformation possible. So let's dive in. And whoever wants to go first, or if you want to talk together, but just take me back to where you were when we first started on this journey.
Yeah. So, I'll talk a little bit about what brought us to you to begin with. So I would say during the pandemic, we leaned in pretty heavily to the food as comfort model of dealing with stress. And we both got to a point where we said, all right, enough is enough. And we had heard about the tonal. And so we decided, all right, it's time. We need to do something about this. We need to reel this in. And so we purchased the tonal and then, made that painful wait until we finally got it delivered. And then we were both so excited. We dove in head first and we absolutely loved it. I think for both of us, it's the most consistent we've ever been with exercising. And really, for me, it was the first time I had done strength training and loved it. And of course, we saw your programs and both of us did 4 weeks of fat loss and go big, go home, and just loved your style. And, we really did pretty well on our own for a while.
Right.
And then we got to a point where things just kind of plateaued and we were like, okay, we've done a lot of these advanced programs, we're getting stronger, we've lost some weight, but, we really want to change our body composition. And we just didn't really know how to proceed, but then had heard that you did some one-on-one training with clients. And we said, all right, we need to learn when we need help. Right. And so that's when we decided to look into your program.
Yeah. I just echo what Erin said. We did that first year, we got it probably December, January of 2020, and worked out for a year, and then did a lot of the programs, and then decided to bite off more than we could chew and hire you. And it's been, never look back. And we always say, like some of the other clients, we kind of kick ourselves for not doing it earlier, but I think we needed that little bit of journey and kind of self-discovery that, we needed help. And obviously in the nutrition department, probably, and I feel like we're probably a lot of people struggle. So that led us to you, and we've been happy, and we're excited to kind of continue on and keep seeing where that goal can, keep moving that goalpost and keep getting better.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's funny. I think when we first came to you, we both had, okay, if we lost 10 pounds,
which is silly,
we will be thrilled. And now that we've, way surpassed that, it's like, okay, now what's the next step?
Right.
What's the next thing? We want to really see how far we can take this. So, yeah.
Well, let's talk about that a bit. So the first thing I want to say is, I always say to people, right, and I said it to you, the only thing you're going to regret is not signing up sooner. So That's true. You definitely followed the suit on that. But you didn't bite off more than you could chew, Greg. You didn't. You both rose to the challenge.
Right.
You see, I think people just need somebody to push them a little bit, challenge them to see the best in them. I always love the Michelangelo quote about how, he sees a piece of stone and he sees the statue in there perfect. And all he needs to do is take away the little outside to get to the good stuff, so to speak. And I see that in every single person I work with. And that's why I wanted to work with you. I knew you both had it in you. So you rose to the challenge, you crushed it. You both did a fantastic job. But you built that momentum. And I think that's so important to being where you're at now, saying, what else can we do? How did you
Right.
build the momentum and go from feeling stuck and plateaued to now you're like, whoa, we did way better than we thought. What's next?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, it's, you know, you start to see the improvement, right? You see the physical changes, but then you also feel better.
Right.
And, you know, things that I couldn't do at the start of the program, I can do now, like 200 jumping jacks without stopping.
Right.
And, you know, to be able to see yourself get better is so motivating. And will I say that I was motivated every single day, and it, you know, always wanted to get up at, my alarm goes off at 3:30 in the morning to do my workouts. Was I always thrilled when that alarm went off and couldn't wait to tackle them? No, but it was a commitment that I made to myself. And it helped so much that Greg and I were doing it together, because there was that accountability, right? Like I would do that workout and he'd say, all right, what am I in for? You
Right.
know, how is it going to be for me today?
Which wasn't always good for me, because then
Yeah.
I'd hear the, oh man,
it's brutal.
Yeah.
You're gonna, or you're gonna love it. You know, and then also with the diet part of things, it was like, okay, you know, it's not like he's over there with a bowl of Cheez-Its, you know, while
Right.
I'm trying to follow this, you know, healthy eating. And
Right.
so to have that accountability made such a difference, I think, for both of
Right.
us. And we are a little bit competitive.
Yeah.
So, you know, I would like look at him and losing all of his, you know, weight and say, all right, you know, I really got to like make sure I'm staying on par with him.
Right. Well, that's
It's
I kinda
fantastic.
have to, keep motivating her. Yeah, when she was, at times where she's like, oh yeah, you're losing more, but I'm like, hey, as a percentage, I mean, you're, and I've, men usually, you have more muscle, so I mean, I have a better starting point. I mean, you're just into this and just building muscle, so I'm just kind of being her cheerleader as well. While we're going through this, and it's been great. I mean, I'm not usually an early morning person. I kind of turned into an early morning, and not wanting to be shown up for, and think about that all day, that she's already gotten her workout done. So I became a, 6-7, right after she would do it. And it's been great. I mean, it's nice to get out of the way with too. So, you don't have it hanging over your head. And, and you don't have those pitfalls, where you get into like, oh, I got stuff going on, and then I just don't feel like doing it. And so it's been, I'm glad I've kind of turned into an earlier workout person. But,
then nothing else gets in the way, right? Well, that's why I
No
have to do it
excuses.
then, is because the kids aren't awake.
Right.
I've got the house to myself essentially, and I can just get it done.
Two things you both mentioned there. The first thing, Erin, you mentioned doing the 200 jumping jacks. We call that the progress principle. It's a psychology sort of tactic that we include into the program. And what we're doing there is we're giving you a very specific metric, something that you can work up to, that we know you're probably not going to be able to do, or not at least do super well right when you start, but that over a number of weeks, you'll get better at. And that's going to get you really excited. And that's going to do exactly what happened, which is build momentum.
Right.
Give you those wins to build upon, because then one thing stacks upon the next, It gets exciting, and it's like running with the wind at your back. So that's the first thing that we did, and it sounds like that happened. And again, doesn't mean every day you wake up like Superman or Superwoman, but it means that you make that commitment and you just keep following through and you just keep moving. And the second thing that you both mentioned was that you're just sort of like supporting each other, cheering each other on, but also being competitive and kind of being fun with each other.
Right.
Can you talk about that dynamic and like how that might work for another couple out there who might be watching this, who wants to get into something and do a program together?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's hard work. That's the truth, right? This is something.
Misery loves company.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. It's hard work, but it would, I would say, all right, this was the week I was able to do all 200 jumping jacks without stopping. And then it was like,
and I don't think I had 100, and I had it later, and I was like, well, I still had to take a break. And she's like, okay,
one day,
maybe.
Someday you'll catch up, hopefully you can get there too. So, like, I think we both, humor is one of our coping mechanisms. So we love to laugh together and, kind of mess with each other a little bit, but yeah, it's been, I think it's brought us closer together. I would say, it's something we talk about almost every day now. It's like,
not just
being,
the kids anymore.
yeah, being proud of each other and, the progress that we've made and how, again, how much stronger and better we feel. And, it's just, again, this investment is one of the best things I think we've ever done as a couple.
Yeah. And we've
Full
done
stop.
some partner workouts before, which is nice to have on Tonal. So we've enjoyed that. So and it's, again, no shame. We kind of, I've gone in there and kind of helped her out at times and watched her. Sometimes she's come in like, oh man,
Yeah.
looking good now.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, it's motivating too. Even after 20 years together.
Yeah.
Still,
Wow.
Nice to
I
hear.
know,
fantastic.
wrap my arms around him and there's so much less of him now.
Yeah.
It's
Good and bad.
it's much tighter, but much less. And
Erin,
we have unfortunately or fortunately had to invest in a new wardrobe because none of our clothes fit anymore.
Like they
So
always
that's
say,
been
like,
fun.
that's a hidden cost
Yeah.
that you don't talk about up front. It's and it just keeps getting better. And then trying to get that confidence to like, hey, I'm not, now I'm not in a size 36, I'm in 33s, or,
Yeah.
and bad thing is I kept going down a couple of sizes, kind of thinking that I wasn't ready. And then
Like this is
oh, man,
this is
these are
where
still too
we're gonna
big,
land. This is the final size, and then
Yeah.
weeks later they're too big. So
that's motivating too, obviously, to see those.
that is exciting. And
Yeah.
Erin, you said something there that almost made me tear up. You said, we're proud of each other.
Yeah.
Proud of each
Yeah.
other. That's incredible, because I think that's one of the things that's so often missed in relationships. And it's something that's really helped me and my wife, build our relationship and improve it, is doing things that are challenging together. We learned,
Right.
I'm not very coordinated. I can't dance. That's not my thing. Like,
Yeah.
I'm great working out, obviously, like that's my thing. I can do that. But so for us, we did something together where we both started from, a sort of basis, a set point. She was actually better at dancing than I was. And we learned ballroom dancing together for our wedding.
Oh, cool.
And it really brought us together. And just like you said, it's something that as we went through it, there was moments that were tough. She ended up tearing her ACL at one point skiing, and then we had to get back into it. And just going on this journey together to learn ballroom dance together, there were so many moments where I was so proud of her. And I think she felt the same way about me. And wow, what a bond that creates, where you're challenging each other, but supporting each other at the same time, pushing each other up to be better, as opposed to tearing each other down or sort of the crab mentality. And that's just, wow, that gets me excited to hear you say that you're proud of each other.
There's such value, I think, in getting out of your comfort zone together. Right. And that's exactly what this did for both of us is, it challenged us and it changed us. I mean, this is a new lifestyle for us. I don't see us going back to doing things the way that we did before. We've just worked too hard to get here.
Wow, incredible. So what are some of the benefits of this new lifestyle that you've created together?
So for me, I think just there's such an awareness now of what I need to fuel my body properly. For as much as I thought I was eating clean and doing the right things before, realizing what a real portion size is, looking very closely at at my macros now and realizing I can have really flavorful, delicious, filling food and really feel energized and be able to take on the day and do well in my workouts and then just that overall just sense of, I don't know, what, just feeling good.
Better,
just, I feel more calm and relaxed and but also energized at the same time, sleeping a lot better. All of those things.
And even she said, a couple of times where, she's still sometimes where she felt hungry, but it wasn't hungry. I don't want like a piece of cake, or I don't want, I just want more of the good food that I'm eating, knowing that that's what's kind of helping fuel her. And, that awareness that, it's not, I'm not craving, unhealthy things. I just, I wish I had a little bit more of this, or, when the macros were tight at times. So, so that was an interesting, kind of paradigm shift from, our usual thinking where you're like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna get a plate of Cheez-Its or, something along those lines, where now it's, I want more. I go get a snack and it's grabbing some cucumbers or, that we usually slice up for our kids so that was.
What about you, Greg?
Benefit.
Any breakthroughs mentally, physically, emotionally, anything that you've experienced other than having to buy a new wardrobe?
Yeah.
Again, I think for me, it's just kind of the recognition of that there is this better way to live that is available to really all of us, and to, really with your guidance, be able to say, okay, these are the parameters I need to meet, but also to be able to adjust that to what works for us, and to say, okay, like we want to try this kind of meal, and like how can we make that work with the macros, that you've given us. Right. And I think at first I kind of wanted you to just tell me exactly what to eat for every meal of the day. But I realize now why the program is not designed that way, because that's not sustainable. It has to be something that works with your own lifestyle and your tastes and what appeals to you. And you're not going to know that for every client that you work with. And so to be able to work within those parameters, but really find things that we love, both of us kind of finding recipes on our own and sharing with each other. And, it's been wonderful.
And mine's probably, I noticed probably later, like phase 3, phase 4, after building the, we always say the 6-pack abs, you want them, you're looking forward to that glamour muscle, like the muscle, the arm muscles. But it was really doing some of the exercises and realizing, okay, before maybe I'd done it and like, okay, my back might have hurt, or, I wasn't, just of how much more solid, you feel even doing some of the planks or push-ups, and we're doing like overhead tricep extensions where I'm like, okay, I feel like before they weren't totally engaged, even though you're like, hey, I got to think about this, and like, really like, okay, I'm engaged my muscles but now it's like they engage themselves, just again, having that strong foundation going through the different phases and slowly building up to a pretty strong core. It's, invaluable for injury prevention as well as, looking good. So it's functional, it really helps in a lot of the other big muscle exercises and things you do later on. So that was, my biggest breakthrough, kind of noticing that.
It improves your lifts. It also strengthens your core, which is going to protect your lower back and a number of other things. It's funny when people have sometimes back issues and they have a little back pain or soreness or stiffness, they think I need to stop moving. But oftentimes it's when we're not moving and we're sitting in our desks like this all day or sitting in cars, that's what's causing the pain. And then we get up, we do some movement, and it's like, wow, I feel so much better. So that's a huge breakthrough. And I appreciate you mentioning that, Greg. But you both mentioned something else, which is like the delicious foods that you can have even when you're on a quote unquote diet, because it's not a diet anymore. It is a lifestyle. It's learning how to eat differently and better to fuel your body, but also to eat foods that you do enjoy and that fuel your body while tasting good. And there's a limiting belief around there that either healthy food or good food that fuels you and makes you feel good can't taste good. And that is just an incredible myth. And it's something that we want to bust that myth and just break it open and get rid of it, because it's not true. It's a limiting belief. And once you understand that good, healthy food can also taste good, what a breakthrough that can be. And you mentioned improving, getting better, and almost like not knowing how much better things can get. It's like, I didn't know life could be like this, or I didn't know we could be living at this level, feeling this good, having this much energy. And I feel the same way. As I get older and I improve and I do things better and I stay more consistent and I stay more on track, it's like, I didn't know I could have this kind of energy. I didn't know what I was sort of missing out on when I was drinking more frequently or eating worse foods and eating tons of sugar and stuff. And even though you could do those things and still get results, it's like, I almost don't want to do them because I just feel so great. It's
exactly. I mean, obviously we're older now than we ever have been, right? we're both in our 40s, and
and looking fantastic, not just for being in your 40s, but for any age. Like, wow. I mean, you both you look incredible. Both of you look incredible. And of course,
Yeah.
the progress photos look amazing. Your physiques are both fantastic. I mean, you guys are the power couple. Like this is the dream couple right here.
No,
That's
well,
what
like
it's all
Erin
about.
said though too, we always, bad thing is that, doing those photos, we found out like where, but then Erin wants to be very consistent. So we found, unfortunately, like the worst lighting area in our bed. And it's like, oh man, it's like, it was a horrible shadow, but yeah, they're great. I mean, it's we definitely just feel so much more confident, and again,
it's all about trusting the process.
in that too.
I mean, I will say there were weeks where I looked at my photos and said, gosh, I can't really see any change. And then it was like one day I looked and I said, I see it now. I finally
Right.
see it.
Yeah.
And it's just been improving since then. But yeah, it's, I think really we just followed the program. There's no secret sauce here. Like we just did what you told us to do. That was it. I mean, and it worked,
Right.
So
And it's
That's
a
the
challenge,
secret.
but it's not impossible. I mean, it's it's anybody can do it.
You got that. As long as you're willing to put in the work, and as long as you follow the system and follow the process, you will see the progress and see the results. But that is the secret, Erin, is it's following. And most people will not follow or cannot follow or whatever the case might be. But we're very lucky here at Action Jackson Fitness to have a number of people just like yourself who will follow the system because of stories just like both of yours. Because of you being here with me, because of you doing this, sharing your story, being an inspiration to so many others, they see and think, okay, well, they said I could do this. They said just follow the process. So I'm going to invest, I'm going to do it. And then bam, we get another group on here, another person on here. So I want to thank both of you for doing this. I promise I won't take too much more of your time. Just a few more things I want to touch on. The one thing you mentioned is learning how to eat properly. We talked about being just told what to eat. And I like to take the approach that I'm going to teach you everything that you need to know to take agency and ownership over your health and fitness. You never have to buy another trainer, pay for another coach or anything ever again. That's the big promise. But in order to do that, we need to up your skills. It's not just do this, it's do this, here's why, and here's how to really grow this skill set.
Yep.
So while that might sometimes be a little frustrating, did you find that, how'd you overcome that? Like, how did you learn how to do it?
Yeah, I would say the first week was the hardest for sure, because the macros were the tightest and we were learning, right? We were overwhelmed at first.
Throw into the deep end.
Yeah. And but it was like trial by fire.
Right.
We figured it out of necessity. And we used, started with the framework of the meal plan that you gave us, and then said, okay, we like this, we don't like this. Like, for example, Greg can't stand avocados, and that was
But I did learn to like them. I did eat them, and
we had to find other ways. Okay, well, if we use an egg yolk, then we get some fat. And so, and he's an engineer, my undergraduate degree is in engineering, so we love numbers, right? So then it just became a game, right? Of, okay, all right, how can we switch this out for this? And okay, we found that we like zucchini noodles, and what kind of protein can we add with those? And where do we get the fat from? And so it usually
enough in your list,
and so we tried to stick with the things that you gave us. And typically both of us will go into MyFitnessPal and plan out our whole day the morning of, so we knew exactly what was on the menu for the entire day, so that we could make sure we hit our numbers accordingly. So yeah, I think it was, you just kind of have to get in there and figure it out. And I'm glad we did, because I think that taught us a skill set, right? Had you just said, here's what you need to eat, we probably would have gotten bored. We may not have liked what you picked. And then it would have been like a chore, right? Oh, we have to eat, all right, it's time to eat, this thing with avocado again. And this way we really were able to find things that we look forward to. Like, I love what we eat now. We look forward to our meals. So,
and even having that knowledge now to explore other, other things that we might want to try. And, now we know what to look for. And, obviously nutrition label is king, making sure that, things don't have exorbitant amount of sodiums and sugars and, added stuff. So that was another big thing. Just, again, having now this new vocabulary to, that we now have access to, that, helps us make better decisions. Yeah. Even eating out, or when you're at the grocery store. So.
Yeah.
Incredible. That's fantastic. I feel like we're the dream team, 3 engineers, right?
Yeah.
Working together. So as I lay things out with a very engineering background and mindset, you're just picking it up like that. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you built this skill, you have this new vocabulary, you know how to read labels now, you know how to mix and match foods together. And that's really the key to taking that agency and ownership in finding something that's truly uniquely yours, because it's just like working with a boss. I love this analogy. If you've ever worked with a boss and they micromanage you and they tell you, do it this way and then this way and then that way, and you're like, well, I want to do it this way and it's the same result. Like, why can't I just do it my way? You want to have that agency, you want to have ownership over your job. And when you do, and you have more ownership over the process, it's truly yours. You enjoy it more and you invest more energy and effort and you like it more and you're more likely to stick with it. When somebody's dictating to you, it's harder to follow. It doesn't feel as good. It feels restrictive, and you're not going to build the skills, but you're also not going to love what you're eating in the diet you're following, and it's more likely to fall off. So that's why it's designed this way, and you embraced it, which I love it. So one or two last questions here. You mentioned that it was like trial by fire. We kind of had to move forward. We just had to do this. What was the underlying reason? Like, why did you two want to go on this journey, and why was it so important for you to be like to get on this other side?
I think it's a lot of the same. You know, we both obviously seeing our, you know, as our parents are aging, and you know how they maybe haven't taken care of themselves, and you know they may have for a little bit, but you know as they're getting older, just kind of, and then a lot of health problems coming up because they haven't really taken as good a care of themselves as possible, and you know kind of want to be a good example for our kids. And you know again, ours are almost 9 and 6, so you know kind of being that shining example. And some of it, like I think we talked about in the post program, was some of it's vanity. I mean, you want to look good, you want to feel good, but you know a secondary and pretty big part of it was, you know, longevity, you know, going into, you know, again, I'm 48 almost, and you know, and Erin's early 40s. So it's, you know, we want to make sure that we're around for the kids, and we want to be able to, you know, hopefully enjoy grandkids one day, maybe. And so
Yeah.
that was, I think, some of it. I don't know.
I mean, I will just say personally, I love a challenge. I am a very goal-oriented person. So if I have my mind set on something, it Greg will tell, like, yeah. I will strive for it till the bitter end. So I think once we had made the decision and it solidified that this was what we were going to do, it was like, all right, we are all in. And now it's like, okay, what's like, let's move to the next goal, the next goal. And I mean, I want to celebrate our wins, but it's like I've always got my eye on the next prize.
You definitely want to make sure you celebrate your wins, as we teach you in the program, right? You want to celebrate those successes to reinforce the positivity and the sort of like the hard work that you're putting in before looking forward towards the next thing, right? So celebrate, pat yourself on the back, like
I will
embrace
try.
that win, acknowledge it, right? So you get that good feeling, you get that dopamine hit, then move on to the next thing, and then the next thing, and then the next thing. So I'm so proud of both of you. I think you mentioned, you know, checking all the boxes. It's a little bit about vanity, wanting to look good. Of course, like we all have that that feeling. We want to do that. It's being the example to our kids and people around us. It's learning from our parents. I wouldn't say mistakes, but you know, it was just a different generation, a different time, and people didn't think the same way they did about health. And I held the same thing with my parents as well. And wanting to be around and live a long, active, healthy life. So you check all the boxes there. Fantastic. I'm so proud. I'm so incredibly proud of both of you too, for the commitment you made, the investment, the hard work, everything you did. And I'm just filled with joy, really, seeing both of your smiling faces here. And again, Erin, when you said, we're so proud of each other. Man, that just gets me excited. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, I mean, we just, since we're here and we have the opportunity, we just, Coach, want to thank you so much for literally, I mean, I know it sounds cliche, but you have changed our lives for the better. And we are just so grateful for your guidance and your help. And just, you know, it's been one of the best things we've ever done as a couple, by far.
Yeah, we're excited to continue the journey.
Yeah.
Thank you both again. That's very kind to both of you. I mean, it's really why I do this. It's so cliche. I know it's so cliche, but given the background, my mom's health, everything I've seen, I just want to help people. I just want to help people so badly to change their lives, because going from where I was and where I grew up and everything, knowing I could do it, it's like, you can do it too. I know you can. And I just really see the best in people. And I see being able to just break through limitations that people hold for themselves. And you've both done that with shining colors. So thank you again for all your hard work. I'm so proud of you, and I can't wait to continue the journey. So thank you again for joining me today. I appreciate both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.